everyone. My name is Royce Yates. Today I'll be presenting my personal story speech for my Fundamentals of Communications class. Have you ever faced a problem that made you want to give up, but something inside you told you to keep going? That happened to me one night at my job at Dave & Buster's. I work as a game tech. Normally I'm fixing the arcade machines and helping out guests. But one night, right before I was supposed to clock out, a bowling machine broke down. Now, when I got into the bowling area and looked at the machine, I couldn't tell what the problem was. So I started turning it off, on, checking connectors, and I still couldn't figure it out. What I did notice is that all of the pins were going on the one side of the pin setter. I noticed that a piece called the shark fin wasn't moving, and I wasn't sure what made it move. So I consulted the manual. At this point, I was already past my time of clocking out, 30 minutes past, and I found out what it was. It was a solenoid under the shark fin. So I get over to the lane and I find where it is, but it's in a very tight enclosed area. But I decide I can do it. I started taking apart all the pieces around it to get to the solenoid. Some of those parts were even under tension, so I had to pull them really hard, and I was at risk of injuring myself. I was sweating. I wasn't sure if I could do it. It was already an hour after my time, and I was wondering why I didn't just go home. We finally got all the pieces off, and after I got the pieces off, I was able to reach the solenoid. But my troubles didn't end there, because after reaching the solenoid and pulling it out, all the pieces that held it together, they fell down to the bottom of the machine, and I had to fish them out. At this point, I was already an hour and a half over. Looking at the clock, we were closing in 30 minutes, and I wasn't even supposed to be a closer. After I finally got the solenoid replaced, I didn't know fully if it was gonna work, but I hoped. And then finally, I connect all the connectors. I put all the parts back together that I had taken off. The lane was back in one piece. I go over, it's about 2:30 a.m. at this point. I turn on the machine, and it works perfectly fine. So, what I learned from this is that I learned something much more valuable than how to fix a solenoid. I learned that even when everything feels stacked against you, keep going. Be stubborn. Because when it's hard, that's when you need to push through. And that's when you really grow. Thank you. Woo! Alright, this is my audience one last time.